And so there he said there was no alternative to the VAT increase. And late last night, our lawyers were saying to me, the minister wants to reach an out-of-court settlement. Now, what happened between last Thursday and yesterday, which was Wednesday? What happened was the DA's challenge, which was heard in court on Tuesday. And that day was absolutely pivotal because our excellent legal team made the case as to why the VAT increase should be interdicted and why the minister had made the announcement in terms of an unconstitutional power allocated to him under the VAT Act. And secondly, why the process by which the Finance Portfolio Committee had supposedly adopted the fiscal framework when that proposal was actually never before the committee, and why an unlawful outcome and irrational outcome of the Finance Portfolio Committee had landed before Parliament as a whole, which adopted a fiscal framework that had unprocedurally and unlawfully and irrationally emerged out of the Portfolio Committee and the Standing Committee and the NCOP. Now, it's also crucial from the DA's perspective that we set out these circumstances because there's no doubt that the minister, in trying to save face, will seek to present this as the result of his discussions with the smaller parties. The issue that the ANC fears more than anything else is that the public will come to understand the extent of the DA's muscle in holding the balance of power and the impact that we can make both through the political process and then the legal process if the political process proves impermeable as it did this time. And so the minister needs to somehow save face by saying, I'm making this concession and I'm doing it after the consultations with the smaller parties. And obviously the smaller parties will want to claim some credit in having negotiated their way out of a VAT increase. That argument obviously cannot hold water because a lot of negotiations had happened supposedly with the smaller parties before last Thursday. And yet last Thursday, the minister categorically said that the VAT increase would go ahead and that there was indeed no alternative to it, and that the Rates Act, as it's called in its abbreviated form, would be passed and would make provision for the 0.5% VAT increase. So it was clear that the DA's court intervention was the pivotal intervening factor that has enabled the people of South Africa to come out victorious and to show them why their vote really mattered. I have no doubt that the minister's legal team went back to him on Wednesday morning, the day after our court case, and said it looks as if it is going to be inevitable that the 0.5% VAT increase that takes effect on the 1st of May could well be set aside by the court. And in that context, it seemed better for the minister to concede before he was perceived to have been forced to by the outcome of the DA's court challenge. And that is what has clearly happened in the last week. Now, it's also crucial from the DA's perspective that we set out these circumstances because there's no doubt that the minister, in trying to save face, will seek to present this as the result of his discussions with the smaller parties.